I work at a high school, so that's my birth control right there. I do not want any teenagers.
Sorry, how long were you there for? Sorry.
I just jumped on.
Okay, please introduce us to yourself.
Okay, so what's going on, everybody? My name is AndyFeds. I am the first ever openly HIV positive born stand-up comedian. So, just out here trying to empower, educate, and entertain people with, my life with HIV.
But you're not. Your name's not AndyFeds, though.
That's my stage name, yes.
Where did you get your stage name from?
We'll go backwards. So Feds is because, my increasingly number of
fedoras. Oh my God.
So I'm Mr. Fedorable. And Andy is a teacher that I had in high school who's kind of like a father figure to me. So AndyFeds.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I like that a lot. Okay, cool.
You.
So, cliche question, I have to ask this.
Sure.
What got you into comedy?
What got me into it? First year of college. Me and my buddy Larry, we used to kind of always try to one-up each other and be funny and try to make everybody laugh. And then we was watching Kevin Hart's Laugh at My Pain specifically. And we were like, we feel like we can try this. And next thing you know, we started a comedy club at the school. And I had my first, one of my first jokes had like a guy running up and down the aisle laughing. So I was like, you know what? I think this might be the one. I think this this might be my niche here.
So, yeah, can you talk about what happened at your Columbia College story?
Columbia. Did I say Columbia before? Sorry.
How many schools did you go to?
I went to several. I went to
several.
Yeah.
What?
St. Xavier.
Are you allowed to do that?
When you get kicked out of one, sure.
Wait, what? What did you do? Okay.
I wasn't a bad kid.
Why did you get kicked out?
I wasn't a bad kid. I just hated the school so much to the fact that I just did not go. Just did not go to class. It was like, oh, I'm 18 and I got this freedom. So nobody got to call my grandma? Sure. Let me just kick it at home. Kick it in the dorm. And yeah, they kicked me out. But then I was like, all right, let's mature a little bit. So I worked, going to different schools to get my credits up and get my GPA up. And then I went to Columbia.
So what happened at Columbia? You were homeless?
Actually, Columbia, that's when Columbia had a comedy major. And I decided to do that for a little bit. And then I was like, 4 years in school, spending $100,000 and get a degree in comedy. Don't know if that's a smart decision. So switched over to TV. That's where I can still use my, sense of humor and, write scripts and things like that. So it was a better fit.
And you're currently located in Chicago?
Nope, Vegas. Chicago is my hometown.
You're in Vegas right now? Oh my God, what's it like right now?
I don't know. Mountains, palm trees.
I mean, like COVID related.
Oh, COVID?
Yeah.
I don't go out too much simply because of my condition. But yeah, I lost track of our numbers, but with us constantly having tourists, it's just, I'm just like, I'll stay away from everybody.
Is it true that they pass out cards for prostitutes in Vegas?
Yes, escorts. I tell people all the time, when you bring a child, for whatever reason, why would you bring a child to the strip? Don't let them look to the ground because people have these little flyers and they're like, oh, don't want that. Next thing you know, there's boobies on the ground that little kids can see.
Oh my God.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you auditioned for America's Got Talent.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, what other shows have you auditioned for? And part two question, what would you like to audition for?
As far as what I've auditioned for, I think it was just America's Got Talent. I'm kind of still sharpening my comedy skill. So I always feel like I can get better. As far as what I want to do, I've also been trying to reach out to the Ellen Show, Kelly Clarkson, Nick Cannon just got a new talk show, so trying to do a few of those. And then just kind of, working and seeing how things go. Right now, I'm kind of working, me and my manager are working on getting a 50-state tour. So it's going to be 2 parts. That's kind of what's taking over for next year.
So you do a lot of traveling?
About to. Definitely about to.
Well, no, I mean, like all over the world. You've been to 6, how many continents are there?
7, but I've only done 5. However, you won't believe this. Because of COVID, I've done all of this virtually. So being able to talk to like different organizations, I was just like, you know what, let me utilize this time of people, being stuck in the house and still get my message across regardless. Cause I actually have a bit where I say, don't invite me nowhere because one more virus than me and you call me LimeWire. So leave me alone for now. And just been able to talk to, people in Singapore and France and Belgium, Canada, Uganda. And it's just been like mind blowing to me because here's this, kid from Chicago, being able to reach people around the world,
What brought you to Vegas?
I got family here, and then with my background in television, Columbia would always say, "Oh, you should go to LA because that's where most jobs are," which is true. But when I went to LA, I hated it. So I was just like, "Oh, still choose Vegas because Vegas has, the hotel industry and entertainment stuff." So I felt like it would be a good, starting point.
Word. You met Alicia Keys?
Yeah. I usually have a little rubber band. I'm actually working with her organization. It's called Keep a Child Alive, and their organization helps families living with HIV in like Africa and India and things like that. So they just make sure they can get their treatment regardless if they can pay for it or not. So the Alicia Keys interview that I had, not interview, but she just kind of brought me on randomly. Out of like 4,000 people, I still couldn't believe that I got chosen. And then, we just kind of chatted, and I was still nervous, but she kind of gave me that impression like, dude, relax. It's just me and you talking. There's no reason to be nervous.
Nice. Okay. Can you teach someone to be funny?
Can you teach somebody to be funny? No, but you can definitely give them the tools to be funny. For instance, I have a lot of these, a lot of comedy stuff that I'm just dropping on purpose. And, I've always felt like I was kind of funny, but I was also very introverted and shy. In a lot of ways, I'm still kind of introverted and shy. But once I was able to get on stage, I think that's when I was kind of forcing myself to be a little bit more out, more out of my shell, so to speak.
Do you find that you have to always be the funny person in the room?
Unless I'm in a room full of comedians, sometimes yes. Just because, I'm bad with like bad situations, like funerals. Don't sit next to me because I will make you crack up when we're supposed to be crying. Just because I think that's my go-to. That's how I cope with a lot of things. Is I was born HIV positive. Rather than cry about it, why not make fun of things?
Mm-hmm. How do I phrase this better? So like as I'm an actor, and I find that the acting world is very competitive unnecessarily. Like we'll stab each other in the back like often. Is that very similar in the comedic world?
As far as I know, I would probably get stoned for this one, but as far as Vegas, I've seen a lot of like blackmailing, blackballing. Don't hire this person because he worked for so and so, and
oh wow,
yeah, it's a lot of that. I typically, especially once the pandemic hit, as I mentioned, I'm introverted, so I was like, you know what, this is perfect chance for me to do things on my own anyway. So definitely competitive. There are a lot of good hearted people. I just posted that I lost a good friend out here in the comedy world, and Yeah, you know, it's definitely competitive. Definitely a lot of kind of holding your head underwater just so they can get, you know, up there.
Why do you think artists do that?
Selfish reasons, probably. Just like, I don't know, to get ahead, to gloat, to say I did it and you didn't. I've always hated doing that. Like I tell people with my AndyFeds brand, I'm trying to help people. It's not about, you know, the fame. It's not about the money. I just literally want to be that voice that I was. You know, I didn't speak about my HIV until I was 24 years old. I'm sure there's many people. I've
Oh,
even got
wow.
DMs, you know, that people telling me that, you know, complete strangers saying, I just got diagnosed and I don't know how to deal with it. So I think about those people, and that's why I do what I do.
Okay.
Sorry, don't
Okay.
cry. You look like you're about to
No,
cry.
no. Oh my God,
Okay.
now I have to cry.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
no. I like my makeup today. I don't feel like crying.
Gotcha.
Um,
You put your head down very somberly.
um, the top four comedians of all time. You're not allowed to say Robin Williams or Jim Carrey.
Okay. The top four for me. I don't know if I can say all time because comedy is subjective, but top four. Patrice O'Neal is my all-time favorite comedian. Um,
Yeah.
Kevin Hart, just because this man has done things that no other comedian has done. Jamie Foxx actually kind of got me into loving stand-up. Eddie Murphy.
Mm. That's very interesting that you say Patrice. People very rarely mention Patrice.
You know what? If Patrice was alive, he would not be. He would be canceled. The way that you
Yeah.
just canceled Dave Chappelle.
No spoilers. No spoilers. But I hear a lot of people are very mad at
I
him.
haven't seen it yet. I got to check it
You
out.
haven't seen it
I haven't
either?
seen it, but
Red
yeah.
Fox. Yes, Red Fox. Bernie
Red
Mac.
Fox, yes,
Yes.
Bernie too. Coming from Chicago, Bernie too. But my top four are those four right there.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if they did a Kings of Comedy right now?
Ooh, who would it be?
Who would it? Oh yeah, who would it be?
Who
If they
would
did
it
a
be?
Kings of Comedy right now, present tense people who are alive, who would it be?
That's a good question. Now I'm trying to go through a Rolodex of comedians. Eddie Murphy for sure. Just because,
Eddie
well,
Murphy.
yeah, he would have to kind of come up with some stuff. Dave Chappelle.
Dave Chappelle.
That's a good question.
It's only four. It's only four Kings of Comedy.
Yeah. I want to say Kevin Hart, but I feel like a lot of people don't rock with Kevin Hart.
For some reason, it's so funny how we switched up on him.
Yeah.
It's very shameful how we switched up on him.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one more.
I'm going to throw in a wild card and say Bill Burr.
I would so go to that show.
Yeah.
I would so go to that show if they did that.
Yeah. Because Bill Burr, a lot of people, when he was on SNL, a lot of people did not know who Bill Burr was. And I was like, how do you not know this guy?
It's so interesting. Yeah. It's very, very interesting. Mm-hmm. Do you find that you feel like you have to censor yourself in order to be financially profitable?
So there's two parts to this answer. As far as me, because I'm a stand-up comedian that focuses on HIV, absolutely. Because I know there's a lot of people that are affected by HIV. A lot of people that don't even have HIV are affected. And so, yeah, I want to make sure that every word that I say on stage or on social media or anything like that is well intended, I guess the word. As far as general stand-up comedy, I feel like freedom of speech is kind of, I guess it's a little hypocrite. Freedom of speech is a big thing in comedy. People need to understand that comedians do not, a lot of us don't think the way that we, say things on stage. It's never any ill intentions with it. It's just being able to take this dark place that we live in called the world and being able to forget about the things that go on about it and make fun of it, So,
I want to change the conversation from comedy
For sure.
to something else, if you don't mind.
Okay.
If you don't feel comfortable, I can change the subject.
For sure.
So in dating, how do you communicate your status?
So I am married, and been married for 4 years, and I struggled with dating, just because, I felt as if me being a teenager, I was like, nobody would love me because I had HIV thing. And so when I met my wife, things got a little steamy, and a little makeout session and stuff, and swapping spit and germs. I stopped her. I was like, hey, let's chat a little bit so we can know each other. And I was like, let's tell each other story. I let her go first. And then after she was done, I said, well, I was born HIV positive. My mom died of AIDS. Her mouth just dropped. And after talking about it, she just let me know, hey, whatever you need, I'm here for you. I'm not going to just change up on you because you're, HIV positive. And that's when I was like, yep, you just earned a ring. That's it.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys have any kids?
Nope. I told you that birth control. Working at school, and she's a teacher as well.
That birth control, a mess. Mm-hmm. So, I think that a lot of movies from the 80s obviously play up like being on like 1,000 medicines.
Mm-hmm.
So now present tense, it being 2021, right? Is it 2021?
Mm-hmm.
This is like the longest year ever.
Mm-hmm.
Are you on like 1 million medications or just two?
Two. And right before bed. And that's all I do. And I tell people that I forget that I have HIV until I go to bed, because it don't affect me at all,
Are you hopeful for a cure in the future?
See, I just had this conversation. I do Straight Out of Stigmas every Saturday. And we had this conversation, and I would love for there to be a cure. Would I want there to be a cure? I don't know. I'm a little backwards on it. So somebody mentioned I had a herpes advocate on Straight Out of Stigmas, and she said she don't want to get rid of her herpes because that's all she knows. And I'm the same way. I was born HIV positive. I don't know how to live without HIV. So would I want to change? I mean, I made a career out of making fun of my HIV. So would I want to change it? I can't say I would. It's so backwards, but I can't say I would. Just because I feel like I learned a lot too, as far as like, how to respect people, despite the differences, because I always wanted to be respected,
So with COVID, all the speculation that this was like a man-made virus, do you think that the HIV virus was man-made?
That's a good question. You hit me with some good ones today. Was it man-made? I can't say. Simply because I was born in 92. So I was kind of after it developed. So I don't know. It could be. And it's probably more than it's improbable. But yeah, I feel like I'm leaning towards the probably it is.
Okay, cool.
You better hit me with something hard.
I've been trying to figure out how to phrase this.
Okay. I was like, you're about to hit me with something hard that I've never heard.
Yeah, sorry.
It's okay, but I'm ready for it.
So let me finish. Okay. So as a person of color, I'm just going to assume this about you.
Yeah. I'm Black.
Just stalking your social media and your personality, and assuming your race. I find that struggle in the Black race is normal. I find that it motivates us. I find that it pushes us. Because, like, if you really look at it, a lot of the motivational speakers are Black people. And they're like, what? It's like, so Steve Harvey, what you so sad for? And it's like, yeah, why am I so sad? Like, I'm gonna keep hustling. I'm gonna keep grinding, you know? So do you find that as a male and as a person of color and with your diagnosis, do sad people make you angry? And also, follow-up question, what is your motivation to keep living?
As far as do sad people make me angry, I wouldn't say it make me angry, but I feel as though because I was a sad person, you know, being depressed as a teenager, you know, thinking of suicide, you know, certain things like that. And not necessarily seeing people like that make me angry, but seeing people like that make me motivated to help them. To tell them, hey, pick yourself up. Let's go. We, you know, the tough love. We got things we got to do, and we can't constantly be sad because life is too short to stay sad. And as far as what motivates me, again, it goes back to being that voice for the voiceless. You know, I've mentioned several people constantly. I get DMs saying, I don't know what to do. And I'm just like, it's things like this. It's things like seeing, you know, the stigmas that I just posted. You know, I did a video talking about stigmas, seeing things like that on social media and people actually believing it. Like the baby, you know, his whole comment, you know, it's things like that that just keeps me wanting to go harder. You know, even like I've auditioned for America's Got Talent 7 times. And each time they, you know, was like, we don't know. And I kind of had to structure my comedy to make sure that, you know, it's one, family friendly because it's America's Got Talent on NBC. And yeah, and then still make sure that people know that, like, I'm not making fun of HIV. I'm talking about my life, and it's okay to, you know, talk about living with HIV because in a society where we're supposed to be quiet about it. Why? We can talk about cancer. We can talk about diabetes. We can talk about COVID. Why not HIV?
Yeah. 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 Okay. So where can we like you, stalk you, follow you, all that fun stuff?
Oh, sorry. Forgot the question. So, AndyFeds comedy on everything. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube is official AndyFeds, but we're not going to talk about that. Snapchat, everything, TikTok, even Cash App if you want to send me something.
You're so funny.
AndyFeds comedy. Even my website, you know, we do. I mentioned I'm partnering with Keep a Child Alive, and I'm also partnering with the Junior Council, Lurie Children's Hospital of Chicago, and both of them, you know, help families affected by HIV. And so I sell T-shirts, but my website is currently under maintenance right now. But sell T-shirts, and you know that money goes to them to make sure that, you know, folks can get their medicine.
Have you seen Rent?
I barely saw it, but then I was like, "Ooh, Lord, there's too much singing." Too much.
No one likes musicals. No one likes musicals.
I grew up loving musicals.
You don't like musicals,
but it was like, you know, they'll be like, "Hey," and then bring out the musical number. It's like, damn, I just said "hey" to you. That's it's like, do we have to sing after every sentence?
I just want to comment and say that so that was my first introduction to HIV, and I think that I mean it worked because because fear works with COVID. Fear works, you know, and I just want to say that thank you for not using fear in order to catch an audience. Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
That's not it. I have one more question, but it's not it. But I just want to say that.
For sure.
You know?
No, so I've talked to several HIV advocates and friends with a lot of them. And I told them that my whole thing was, you know, it's not disrespecting anybody to, you know, the community, HIV community, but we're constantly, you know, with seminars and and Instagram talks and things like that, Zoom chats, and it works sometimes. But there's people that might need something different to be able to learn about what HIV.
Yeah.
People love comedy. People love to laugh. So I figured, why not make comedy and HIV be a thing that's everybody's like, why is he? Listen, let's go back a little bit. So the first time I did my material here in Vegas, HIV material, it was at a black lounge. I won't name the lounge, but I said, hey, I made AndyFeds, the first ever openly HIV positive comedian. And people just looked at me like, what the hell is he about to do? And it's like, well, why do we have to shun HIV away from comedy? Like, I don't get it. Like, I get, people don't want to make fun of it, but I'm making fun of my life with it, if I can reiterate that again.
Yeah, yeah. That's very deep. It's very, dare I say, kind of poetic.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, I feel like we keep mentioning Kevin Hart, but like it's kind of like laugh at my pain.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I think that we forget about art. Like, artists started creating because they were in pain, and they said, I have two options. I can either jump off this bridge, or I can just write about it. Okay. Last question.
Okay.
And I'm gonna let you go.
I was ready for it. Never mind. I was
I always feel like I'm like picking up. Like, I always feel like people have like better things to do than talk to me.
Girl.
So. I always feel guilty.
Don't bother me.
Okay, so what did the chicken say to the egg?
I don't know, but your jokes on one Instagram live had me dying, so I'm ready for it.
No, it's not my joke. Okay. You're supposed to answer it.
I don't know.
You're supposed to answer it.
What did the chicken? How am I supposed to answer? You gave me the setup.
Don't you hate that though when people are like, "Oh, you're a comedian, say something funny"?
Yeah, yeah. Oh
God.
God. Listen, I tell people all the time, that's like me going to the dentist and be like, or somebody telling me they're a dentist. Hey, you're a dentist? Oh, I got this molar right in the back of my gums. Yeah, no, don't do that. we got a way to set things up. We got a platform that we got to do. We can't just jump on. I mean, I kind of always have something in my back pocket, but it's just respecting the craft. Right.
Jeez. Ugh. Like, like I hate when I'm like, oh, like I'm a dancer. Oh, dance something. No, what?
Yeah. What are you doing? Sound of wind? Or you're an actor. Give me a monologue. What?
I mean, I'll do it, but like do you know like Christopher Nolan? Because like I'll record me and send it to him.
Right.
Right. This was very enriching and very educational. Thank you so much for your time.
For sure. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
I'll talk to you.